especially coming from Asiatic, Indian parents, you know, my upbringing, there was a lot of culture clash, especially being first generation. And, you know, there was a lot of old world, third world thinking involved in my upbringing, which made me who I was. I was an aggressive, young, angry person full of testosterone. And now this happened. So finally I got out of ICU, the rehab unit. I went from ICU to a rehab unit in the city, NYU, where they would hopefully teach me how to walk, how to use whatever's left, and hopefully move on from there. So I was...
Were you right-handed or left-handed?
I was right-handed.
So how was that transition?
Ugh, it sucks, man. It's hard, but what am I gonna do? You're gonna cry about it? You have to deal with it. You have to figure it out.
How long did it take before that became like a dominant hand for you? Like, comfortable using?
I mean, I adjusted pretty quickly, meaning I was dealing with the card I was dealt with. I had to eat. I had people to help me, but when coming out of the hospital, you're alone by yourself. That's when reality hits. You're by yourself. Yeah, there's people there to come help you and stuff, but what do you do when they're not there? What do you do when you're stuck in your mind? When you're just sitting there contemplating and thinking like, where do I go? What do I do from here? I mean, do I feel bad for myself? Do I shake it off and move on? How am I going to go should I go to school? Because I had no aspirations to go to school. I wanted to go to the Marines, beat the shit out of people, fuck people up, come back, and maybe be a state trooper or something like that. And, I had no aspirations to do anything other than that. But now
so you had to refigure
I had to refigure everything out. But, at the same time, I don't know if it's a blessing in disguise. Going to a rehab unit, especially a pediatric rehab unit, it puts things in perspective, because here you have kids who are born with a disability and yet they can still have a smile on their face. So, why can't I do that? So maybe it was inspirational in some respect, but it helped me in a certain way to cope.
Was there any child that you remember specific that like...
Well, yeah, I met actually a lot. I actually met a couple, because I was in the pediatric unit, even though I was 18, a lot of the kids that came were gunshot victims. I had one of my friends, he was paralyzed from the waist down from jumping into a pool and breaking his neck. I had another girl, she was in a car accident where her sister was driving illegally, I think, without a license, and they got into a car accident. She went through the back window, and got run over by a car, and her spinal cord was run over. So she had to have rods and stuff put on her back and keep her together. So in a way, we were therapy for each other. We became friends. We helped each other snap out of it. And, how do you do that? By making them laugh, Whether my sense of humor is warped or not, it helped, So with that being said, I feel like we were therapy for each other. And, we went on with our lives. Some went to school, some had kids, some have a family. So in some respects, I think it was a blessing in disguise, because, once I got out of that, I guess, background or setting, I came back home to my family. I had to figure out where I had to go from here, what I can and can't do. It took probably 7 years or 6 years to snap out of it.